And now, ladies and gentlemen, we quickly move on to our next session, which is our panel number 6, the big step migrating to digital claims management. And now, while we get the stage ready for the panel members to come on stage and to discuss on this very important panel session, let me quickly take you through some of the pointers of discussion this panel would be discussing on. How technology is transforming the claim management process in India, telematics and how it is revolutionizing the claims in India, artificial intelligence for analytics, for fast-tracking the claims, AI for fraud detection and prevention, robotic process automation, how it is reducing the claim process by automating the data collection process, driving the higher customer satisfaction with digitized claim settlement, use of technology to automate low-impact transactions and communications, driving higher customer satisfaction with digitized claims payment, balancing trust in customers and their 24/7 expectations with claim validation, including fraud prevention, and many more. So we are all set to welcome the honorable panel members for this particular panel session. I would also like to quickly remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that you have been distributed the special feedback form by our partner SAS. All of you who were part of the session yesterday have already been partaken of this particular contest of SAS, but especially for those of you who have joined us today, just let me give you a quick heads up. So all you need to do is just fill in that feedback form and keep it at your desk and at your tables here. Our representatives will collect the form and submit it to the SAS team. It's a special contest by SAS. The criterion for that contest is very simple. You just need to fill the form. But you have to fill the complete form. Incomplete forms will not be taken into the contest. One lucky winner will be given a special gift by SAS. So please be part of this contest. All you need to do is fill in that feedback form and just keep it at your desk. We will take those field forms and submit it to the SAS team, and they will communicate the one lucky winner who is going to win a special, exciting gift on behalf of our partner SAS. So please partake in that contest. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without taking much time, let us proceed ahead with our panel session. And please help me welcome the honorable panel members in the order of the sequence. Joining us first in the panel, Dr. Vinod Kumar, Deputy Vice President Claims, Liberty General Insurance. A big round of applause to Dr. Kumar. Welcome to the stage, Doctor. Please have your seat, sir. Joining next in the panel, we have Mr. Atul Gujrathi, Joint President Claims from HDFC ERGO General Insurance. Big round of applause to Atulji. Welcome to the panel. Please have your seat, sir. Joining next in the panel, we have Dr. Porus, Peshoton, Executive Vice President and Chief Underwriter, Max Life Insurance. A big round of applause to Dr. Porus. Welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. Joining next in the panel, we have Mr. Rajiv, Mirani, Vice President, Motor Claims Control and Strategy, ICICI Lombard General Insurance. Big round of applause to Rajiv ji. Welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. Joining next in the panel, we have Dr. Amol Sawai, Senior Vice President and Head Accident and Health Claims, Liberty General Insurance. Big round of applause to Dr. Amol. Welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. Joining next in the panel, we have Mr. Mahesh Subramanian, Co-founder and Chief Operating Officer from CamCom. Big round of applause to Mahesh ji. Welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. Joining next in the panel, we have Mr. Praveen, Samariya, Senior Vice President and Head of Engineering, Medi Assist. A big round of applause to Praveen. Praveen, welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would like to call the honorable panel moderator, Mr. Bhaswar Chowdhury, Senior Vice President, Claims, HDFC Life Insurance. A big round of applause to Bhaswar ji. Welcome to the panel, sir. Please have your seat. So, Bhaswar ji, all over to you for a fantastic panel session.
So much. Panel just before lunch, so hopefully we will wind up on time. And I think the earlier break had some snacks for you, so you are not feeling very hungry. So the topic for the day, for this particular panel is migrating to digital claim payment or claim management. Right? So I would like to split this into two parts. What we are trying to discuss here is, one is the customer experience. So how use of technology, especially the cutting edge technology of artificial intelligence and ML, will better the experience of the customer throughout the journey and speed up the claim process. The second part of it is the bottom line of the insurers, which gets impacted if there are too many fraud claims. So how AI will help in minimizing the frauds or detecting the frauds upfront. So we have panelists from life insurance, general insurance companies. We have a representative from TPA, and we have a startup technology company. So we have a very eminent representation here, and hopefully we'll get a very rounded and balanced views across the industry on these subjects. So coming to the most interesting part of technology, which is currently a very well-known technology, AI, and especially the generative AI part, which has, not only known to the people who are present here, but many common people outside also, through the most popular feature that is circulating on many of the social media, the Gen AI, which is creating the fake videos of celebrities, right? So that has become, made AI very popular in the among the general population as well. But coming to the use case, especially in insurance. So the first question I will be posing to Mahesh. So I think the best use case, because that, the data will be far more richer, is in motor insurance, right? So what is the role of AI do you see in motor insurance journey for customers? And I will also club the second part of the question here is how this is going to help the fraud detection.
Sure. Wonderful questions, Bhaswar. So we'll have to look at technology slightly differently, right? Everybody has their own take on what AI is, and I always keep telling them, in terms of insurance, AI is not artificial intelligence, AI is assisted intelligence, right? So we start looking at it from that prism, then it starts making sense. So what AI can help with is simplify the whole claim journey, right? It's not going to replace anybody in the claim journey, but what it will drive is efficiencies in the claim journey and give you comparatively decent results, right? AI is never going to be 100%, never will be 100%. So we'll have to accept the pitfalls of AI, and coming from a technology company, and I'm sitting here telling you it's not 100% because that's the truth. So we'll have to accept the pitfalls of what AI can provide and how it will help the complete journey. So AI will help in 3 phases, right? First is the first notice of loss, where you capture all the data that is essential, so that one, you can play a role in fraud prevention, or you can look at it as saying any aggravation of damages happening between the F-null to the garage, etc. The second is identifying damages, comparing against pre-existing damages, and giving a comprehensive report saying what should be paid out, what should not be paid out, understanding of the scene of the accident, understanding what are the possibilities for this particular incident, what panels could have been damaged, what are the extent of damage, what will cost to either repair, replace. As we move forward, you can then do a straight-through process and say, I'll do a cash settlement. So that positively impacts your customer NPS at the end of the day, because over a period of years, the claim journey has been broken to a certain extent from a customer perspective. The other perspective, at least, and I keep talking to many of the esteemed panelists here, is claims today is a once a year or twice a year engagement with your customer. How do you improve that? How do you bring that to a more rounded engagement rather than a very transactional engagement? And that is where technology can also help you. If you have holistic data about the vehicle right from the time a PDI has been done at the dealership, all the way to the service centers, and then maybe the car gets sold from a used car, and you have a visual passport, then there is a lot more engagement that you can do with your customers. Now coming to the second part of your question, fraud. Fraud cannot be prevented. Fraud can be contained. So it's up to what level of containment can we do on fraud. And the challenge for both insurers as well as technology companies is how do we make it more and more expensive for the fraud to be committed. Right? If the ROI on the fraud is not going to be high, the fraud will come down. But there will always be newer ways of fraud that people will detect, want to do. And it's a constant challenge for both technology companies and insurers to start figuring out how do we then go to the next step, try to reduce fraud there, go to the next step. It's a constant journey. But what AI will enable you to do is capture certain data points and start flagging, saying there is possible fraud. It would still require some amount of human intervention to go and figure out whether it's actual fraud, because you don't want to punish 90 to 92% of the customers for 8% who commit fraud. So what happens today is your risk is spread across the whole 100%. So the 92% there is discontentment, right? You want to reduce that. You want to make your customers contented. You want to give them a fantastic user experience. So how do we reduce that? And that is where we are playing a role with many of the companies out here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mahesh. So we will come to your points when we ask questions from the people who actually are managing the claim processes. But I will go to Vinod now, because AI is still a recent phenomenon, but the earliest application of Internet of Things, which was in the form of GPS, which was designed in 70s in motor insurance. But from 2000 onwards, we have seen that this telematics being used in motor insurance, at least in cars and motors worldwide. But we still haven't seen this telematics developing for motor insurance claims. So what do you see, why this has not taken off, and how do you see the future?
Hi. Yes, telematics has not helped the insurance company as it is expected. It is introduced in motor, say in cars quite a long ago. There are multiple reasons for it. Say insurance works on risk pooling. So telematics installed vehicles or the vehicle which are having telematics systems are not in enough or sufficient numbers where insurance companies can invest, because telematics produce a vast amount of data of driving behaviors, and to interpret, analyze that data, it needs a strong algorithms. Companies need to make strong algorithms to get insights of risk and premium calculation out of that data. To invest in such algorithms, it requires a sufficient number of vehicles on the market. Other reason was that data was not standardized. So various technology partners which are producing telematics devices, they are not making a standard data sets. So that was also one of the reasons that insurance company haven't invested on that. Another thing was certain, like there are internet connectivity issues, GPS signal issues, some user concerns also, that there is no incentive for safe drivings. In context of motors, we give discounts based upon no claim bonus, and there is no discount based upon the user-based discounts. So yes, there are certain products in the market, say pay as you drive. Gradually, as the technology develop and the OEMs are now supplying telematics along with their vehicles. Currently, it is on the top model or say premium segment vehicles. So gradually, the industry will shift from pay as you drive to pay how you drive. So the data collected from these devices can be interpreted to calculate the premium and the risk. Say, Indian insurance market is, in context of underwriting process, it's a price-sensitive market. And in context of claims, there are multiple factors which impact the loss ratio. So telematics will help in both ways. The first thing is that with telematics data, we can derive that from which point to which point this vehicle frequently drives, which time of day vehicle being driven, or what is the driver behavior, how harsh he applies the brake, how he accelerates, how he turns the vehicles. So that driving score can fetch a good discounts or maybe a loadings. For fleet owners, it will be more helpful for the fleet owners who are operating larger fleets. They can get a good discount based upon the overall performance of fleet, as well as their cost of operation will also become low. Same, the maintenance cost or the operating cost of the fleet will also reduce. One more thing, in this, that there is a behavioral modification. Say telematics is a feedback mechanism to drivers. So what happens during driving, or usually once a driver finishes his drive, telematics gives him a performance report on his driving behavior. So this performance reports will give insight to the driver, and his driving behavior will improve. Gradually his driving will improve, which in terms will reduce the probability of accidents. And in terms of claims, telematics will supply the exact location, time of accident, in certain cases the severity of accidents. So it will reduce the burden of manual investigations. Say the data supplied by telematics matches with the data the customer is providing to us, or if it mismatch, it's a potential fraud. So it will reduce the burden of manual investigations, and also the cost of that loss adjustment expenses. And third thing, it will also reduce the burden of sports survey to a great extent. One is user-based insurance. So these parameters, say like driving patterns, or say distance, how much distance a person drives in a day. Say currently we are giving premium based upon the vehicles. Say one person for specific manufacturer, there are two variants. One variant may, in current scenario, one variant is getting good discount. Second variant may not be getting a good discount because of the performance of that particular model, not because who drives that vehicles. So this shift will give benefit to those persons whose driving behaviors is good. So definitely it will give an additional benefit to the customers, as well as for the insurance companies to make a good book. Thanks.
Thank you, Vinod. I think the point that I found most attractive about it is that the behavior of the driver. I mean, if you are giving regular feedback to the driver at the end of each journey when he's driving, and if you get a status report of how the driving went, I mean, the way the person drove that car, this in a long term will improve the driving quality of all drivers, and roads will be much safer. Other than the insurance companies benefiting from that in terms of less number of claims, but it would also improve the behavior of the drivers. So, but now coming to Rajiv now. So now we are talking about technology, but I want to ask Rajiv, how it actually, the claim management, the digitization of the claim process, of course it has benefits for the insurance company, it reduces cost overall, and of course the productivity increases, all that. But how it actually impacts the customer? Is the journey actually helpful, or the journey is designed only to be helpful for the insurer and not the customer?
Good question. So, good afternoon, everyone. So I would, would like to answer the question made by Bhaskar ji, that how the digital journey, impacts customer. And we all are here for making that customer life easier as and when the claim arises, because that's the moment of challenge or moment of truth for which customer is bringing the policy or brought the policy, right? So how do we address that? So, and use the technology in, making that life or journey easier. So if we start with the intimations, we have, omni-channels where customer can, intimate the claim, and it's, either WhatsApp, through ILTC app, which is our service app, through, website, through call center, and many more. So customer has a choice to intimate the claim, and while he intimates the claim, we ensure that we do not ask many more questions. We just guide customer, and we, guide customer in, arranging the next steps. So let's say if customer needs RSA, we arrange, RSA services like towing, pickup, etc., ambulance, whatever the need is, right, based upon. And secondly, even if customer do not have RSA add-on, what we do is we arrange pickup and we ensure that customer. So we have a dedicated team here to service our customers called FNOL team. So basically what they do is, they connect with the customer, they arrange not only pickup, but they provide end-to-end journey from customer place. So let's say if customer has a, vehicle at a spot, so they arrange not only pickup, they arrange survey, they, take it to nearest garage. And if we talk about the garage, it's a cashless garage because as we want to reduce the distress of customers, we cannot or we will not, would like to, pay customer from pay his pocket as and when the claim arises. Otherwise, he'll be under stress. Okay. So what equation we provide is we have 13,000 plus motor garages where we provide cashless. So customer need not to bear, the money, entire money, what he is, going through from his pocket. So customer part only he bears, and rest, whatever insurer part is taken care by the insurer directly. And so we are not only reducing the tax, we are also, addressing the pain points of the customer during claim. So FNOL team is providing end-to-end journey from pickup of the vehicle, inspection of the vehicle, and by the time it reaches to garage, the approvals are in place. So garage need not to wait. And garage is, because especially if we talk about the metros or specific to Mumbai, there are a lot of, bay utilization is a big challenge for any garage because the, limited space they are operating from. So it also helps them to, make plans better and gain productivity, right? So even, pickup, survey, approvals, everything is in, so basically what we are trying to say is, here we are addressing everything in hours, not in days. The traditional way of, giving approvals and doing survey, etc. So we are talking about how do we, complete the entire end-to-end journey. And after repairs, we also provide, a real-time status to customer that, who is the claim manager, who will assist you during the entire journey. So up to last, the payment made, right? Till that, customer is assisted throughout the journey and he gets real-time updates through WhatsApp, through app, through SMS, all the channels, even emails, right? So he's aware, he need not to, call us and, inquire. Of course, he is allowed to call and, address his queries in case if he has. So for that, we have cloud calling. So cloud calling is a one unique number where customer need not to worry about who takes care of his claim, who is the claim manager, whom he need to contact. He just need to call in that number and he is directly connected with the assigned claim manager. So he can raise his query. He, until his query is addressed, we are there and we are, that call is recorded lines. So we, we ensure that every customer is contacted because the big challenge is, let's say we are getting 1 lakh plus claims a month. So how do we ensure that all the customers are given, updates on the, whether the, claims, during claims journey? Because with digital, in India, it's important to touch base the customer. Because his emotions are also connected with the insurance, right, or with the car. So what we do is, we also touch base every customer during the journey, and we give them update even on call. Even though there is a, WhatsApp update is given, still we, wish to connect with the customer once or twice or thrice, depending on the need. And we want to give a heads up on the status of the claim. And we want to ensure that his queries are getting addressed. So that is what we do in a cloud calling. and we ensure that, we listen to calls because these are recorded lines. So we ensure that our teams are trained, and we have, around 700 plus ground force to address these claims pan-India, so that they are the dedicated resource for claims, and, they take care of customers during entire journey. So we need not to depend on, that kind of, outsourcing. And we will have, we ensure that we got good rating, good, CSAT, customer satisfaction index, as well as NPS, so that they keep on renewing with us. So this is all about, how do we make life easier for customer during intimation, during survey. Then we have real-time InstaSpec survey, where, we connect with the customer directly over a Google Meet, and we conduct the survey there and there if customer wish to, and provide an approval. So we make, entire journey smooth, convenient, and keeping customer at his own place. We don't call customer to our branches, we don't call customer to garages. Then we have digital claim form, so that he need not to fill up the, lengthy claim form of, 4-5 pages, and it is also integrated with CKYC. So we don't ask for, CKYC document in physical. So we don't ask any document physical. So we are completely digital, paperless claims. We don't have files on our table, and we don't believe in, calling customer for submitting papers. So including invoices. We also use ICR, OCR technology to, make assessment, convert the invoices into assessment, so that we are able to provide delivery orders and approvals along with the detail of assessment to customer as well as garages, so that everybody is, so basically we believe in transparency and, building trust within all the stakeholders we deal with. So that is helping us to, deliver the better experience. So at the end, see, whatever technology we use for, one is, we of course use for improving our efficiency, productivity, and, simplicity for the company to manage claims. Second is, but the most important is, how do we, make life of customer easy as and when. So basically we are trying to address the de-stress and, build trust with the customer, because it's an opportunity to serve customers, right? And it doesn't come on regular basis, like grocery, you order every day and they deliver. But here, it's a once in a, lifetime opportunity where you connect with the customer, you deliver the trust, or you gain the trust and deliver the services, right? So that is what the mantra is all about. As Mahesh rightly said, we are using a lot of technology on, controlling fraud, AI for, claims and all. But at the end, what is important is, how do we, make customer life easier? So I think that's all about claims journey. Yeah.
Thank you, Rajiv, for that elaborate explanations and the process that you narrated. So now I think we have covered enough of motor insurance. Let us jump to health. So what are we doing on the health side to make the customer's journey better? So I will ask Atul this question. So how are we using technology in the health claims segment, and especially AI in analytics, in processing fast-track claims, or simultaneously doing the fraud detection?
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. And I will answer it for both motor and health, since I manage motor and health, both claims. It's been, having spent more than 20 years in the industry, I have witnessed the evolution of technology. I have witnessed this transformation in the insurance industry. And if I have to step back a while, if you look at 1990, the entire claim process, the way it used to happen and the way it is happening today. In 1990, if somebody has to make a claim, he will have to go to the branch office, collect a claim form, go back to the workshop, collect the estimate, then fill up the claim form, attach driving license, RC book, and then go and submit the documents to the insurance company's office. Insurance companies will take some time. They will appoint the surveyor. Surveyor will visit the workshop, and that's how the process will continue to happen. And then he has to go back to the office. And remember, he has to go to the branch office, get his DL verified with the original, get his RC book verified with the original. So that's how the process used to be in 1990s. In 2000, the process was little simplified. The toll-free numbers people started calling on the toll-free number. And if you would remember, during those times, toll-free used to be a USPs of the insurance companies. There used to be advertisements of the insurance companies stating we have 24/7 toll-free numbers, and people used to intimate. So that's how these changes started happening. Come 2004, 2005, it started digitally. If you would remember, the surveyor used to develop the photographs of the accident vehicles and then submit those developed photographs in the physical copies to the insurance companies. Just imagine the amount of expenses which we used to incur in doing all these things. The next step came in when that was the next era was about the mobile application. So all the companies started developing their mobile applications. So the customer had the mobile application, the workshop had the mobile application, the surveyors had the mobile applications, and obviously all of them were integrated, and all of them were able to process the claims faster. So the technology started helping the customers being closer to the providers. The next journey came in when we had this autonomous decision making started happening. So automation to autonomous is what we refer it. And if I have to give you a brief on the case study of one of the business case, we had 20-member team who were looking at the documents. In motor we have this break-in. If there is if the policy has discontinued on 10th of January, and if you're taking a policy on 20th of January, there is a break-in in the policy, and there is a long process which used to be there earlier, wherein the customer needs to intimate the insurance company, the surveyor will be appointed, he will do the inspection, and that will take maybe 8 hours or 1 day or 2 days, depending on the availability of the surveyors. What we've done is we've implemented the autonomous decision making. We've developed a mobile application together with the CamCom here. And this 20-member team has been reduced to a 3-member team now. Entire decision making is happening using the artificial intelligence, using the image processing technology. And believe me, it takes less than 3 minutes for approval of the recommendation for the break-in, which used to take nothing less than 8 hours. So that's how the technology has transformed. That's how the customer experience has improved. If I have to talk about the health claims, there was a time when the patient used to get admitted, and then he had to pay the entire money, and then he had to file a claim with the insurance company, and then visit the insurance company's number of times to ensure that they get the payments back. Things have changed. Cashless has been introduced. Now there is another drive of everywhere cashless. The cashless percentage has improved a lot, and it is becoming a convenience for the customer. So more and more, the customers and the insurance company, the bridge is becoming shorter. They are coming closer, and it is no more a service. Now we don't call it as a service. We try to create the experience for the customers. Are we able to give the experience to the customer while obviously he is in a financial loss, he is in a trauma, but can we make that journey simpler? Can we make that journey better? Is the mantra which we follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Atul. You took us for, almost 3 decades of journey in the health claim and motor claim. So I will now ask Porus on the similar lines. So the imperative need for claims transformation arises from the need to break free from the constraints of traditional processes, which Atul told about in the 90s, right? So what initiatives can insurers take to enhance the claim experience, making it faster, more efficient, and customer-centric?
All right, good afternoon. Firstly, let's accept the fact, that claims processing is no longer just a back-end operation or a back-end function, right? It's actually a very, I would say, pivotal moment of truth in the entire customer journey, right? That's the first thing. Secondly, customer expectations have also changed, right? And rightly so, because they've experienced motor, they've experienced health. I think, Rajiv, you mentioned that it's no longer weeks or days, but it's hours, right? So if they have such kind of experience on, a motor or a health insurance claim, they are right in also expecting a similar kind of experience when it comes to death claims. And in fact, that's even more traumatizing for the family, right? As against a car getting banged or, somebody falling sick. Here we are talking about death, right? I mean, on a lighter note, somebody might be more worried about his Mercedes getting banged than somebody falling sick, but that's on a lighter note. But yeah, this is more traumatic. And I think to cater to this demand, right, it is on insurers to ensure that, systems, processes, etc., are in place to actually deliver at this moment of truth, right? I think first and foremost, it is the insurer's onus to remove the wheat from the chaff. And what do we mean by that, right? We all know, right? Genuine claims would be about 95%. The remaining 2, 3, 4, 5% would be the fraudulent claims. Currently, I think one lens is used for all. How can an insurer actually use AI, use machine learning to separate this wheat from the chaff, right? We have risk scoring models, we have social media scans, we have behavior analytics, we have industry data. All of this can be used to actually ensure that this tool gives you a reputation score, which means that what needs to get or what is likely to be repudiated should be on the channel for investigation. The remaining can be fast-tracked, so the claim assessor does not treat every claim that comes in with the same lens. So I think that is a very useful way of first separating. This will ensure that there's accuracy, there is speed, so genuine claims get processed faster, more accurately. It will also ensure that we can pick up fraudulent patterns. So from the industry data, we can actually use machine learning models to pick up fraudulent cases and share that at an industry level. We can use blockchain technology for document verification. We can use structured, unstructured machine learning models to hasten our process. So there are various ways to increase the customer experience. In fact, so much so that now we have a strong ecosystem to be able to use data from the ecosystem rather than trouble the claimant at these times. Now we have Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, so we have ABDM. Currently, it is used for the health insurance where hospital data, health claims information can be known real time. Why not extend this to life, where we can actually say, okay, I have this information coming from the source. I need not bother the claimant for this particular information. Likewise, how do we use technology to hasten or fasten the investigation process? Typically today, most of the death claims, right, especially pure term insurance, 100% gets investigated. And we spend almost somewhere between 3 to 4 months to finally take a decision. How do we expedite that process? For instance, we have somebody who's doing, and probably we are already doing it for motor. For instance, somebody who's doing a complete investigation on the ground. How can I ensure that the report, we use Gen AI to convert that report into something that a claim assessor can use right away? Instead of waiting for the report to reach us, somebody translates that into something meaningful and then a decision is taken. So use Gen AI. I think some of our underwriter and claims colleagues are already using technology for tele and video underwriting, where we use Gen AI to convert speech to text. Can we use a similar kind of process for the field investigation that we do at the claim stage? So I think, the most important here thing is there are too many stakeholders involved. And how do we marry this ecosystem and use information across I think that's the mantra that we are doing. And I'm talking more on death claims coming from Max Life. We've actually embarked on a claims, and this is a long-drawn thing. The investment is huge. We embarked on a claims transformation journey. It's been a year and a half, and we should be going live in the next few months, and which will actually incorporate all of this and change customer experience completely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Porus. So, moving on to Amol, Dr. Amol, for the health, again, journey part. So, implementation of technology or digitization, how this improves the claim management turnaround times or the speed and also the accuracy of claim payments. Right? In health, you have a lot of documents to scrutinize. Right? How the employment of technology can help in the process. I will also combine the second part of this question together, which is, do you see the AI actually helping in finding the fraud patterns, or can it stay ahead of the race? Fraud patterns keep changing. So will AI be able to help?
Thanks. I'll split my answer in two since the questions are asked double. So let me first start with AI. We all are now quite familiar with AI, and my learned colleague, I would completely agree with him. He's already said that it's more related to assistance, intelligence, rather than artificial intelligence. Now, I think Atul took us back 3 decades. I'm into the industry since last 2 decades, and the kind of paradigm shift that I have visualized over last 2 decades is huge. What we as an insurer or what we as an organization always embark on is, I always believe, this is my personal view, I always believe that there is a bridge and it is on 2 pillars, and one pillar is a customer experience and other pillar is the sustainability. Now to balance both, that's what we all are here, and we all share our expertise and our experience there. Now, precisely when it comes to health, so I'm spent my entire career in health claims, and when it comes to health claims, especially from the general insurance sector, some might disagree, but most of would agree with me that AI is not even 2% or 5% actually used to what it should have been used in actually health claims at this point in time. The kind of adoption or kind of recognition it has got into automobile industries or e-commerce sector is huge. Means I think Mr. Bhaskar started it well, stating that everybody knows what AI even outside the room. But how much are knowing that what all we can do with AI into health claims? I think that is somewhere a learning gap for us, and I think we all are evolving. What I would say that AI at this stage in health insurance is an infant baby, and I think it's now growing into a kid. We have long journey to cover it. So when it comes to AI, what we look...
Sorry to just interrupt the panel. I think one important announcement I need to make. I think Dr. Vinod has to leave the panel. He has a flight to catch, so he has requested. So Dr. Vinod, have to leave. So if you can just excuse Dr. Vinod, with obviously due respect from all the panel members and from the audience, of course. So can we have a big round of applause for Dr. Vinod? Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Vinod has an urgent pressing task to attend. Thank you so much, Doctor, for being part of the panel. We really appreciate. And Bhaswar ji, all over to you. Please continue with the panel.
Thank you. So what are we actually at the end of the day looking at the moment of truth, the customer experience? And I think when it comes to health claims, it's not only customer, but it's also provider experience, because we treat provider as well, our customers. Now, what is the current traditional process that we follow is like we're getting the claim documents, those are submitted. Recently, the things have evolved. We are asking for digital documents to submit. But eventually, again, those digital documents are being reviewed. There is a lot of manual efforts being put. You would agree with me that 90% of the time that we spend in any health claim process is mainly towards data entry. Now, data entry has become such a critical part of the journey as IRDA, our regulator, is insisting on a lot of data, And I think rightly so, because we need to understand a lot of patterns around. And I think, is it practically possible to incorporate each and every data with the human intervention? We'll need a lot of task force. Now, volumes keep on increasing. Will our organization agree to increase the headcounts at the same time? I think we have to enhance our productivity. Now, what AI can help here is that AI assisted with optical character recognition, OCR. OCR is equally important to support AI, especially when it comes to invoices. Each hospital has a different format of invoice, different things that have been put into invoice, and to capture those, it requires at certain times different expertise. And I think we personally believe that these are all non-core activities. I think let the machine support us in concluding these non-core activities. These are important because this helps to detect, this helps to minimize the time, and actually it helps us to identify patterns. Now, when it comes to providers, currently colleagues are there from insurance, from TPS. How many of us would be entering the medical information? When I'm saying medical information, the medicines that are used for treatment. I hardly believe any insurer would be doing that. Yes, we have recently started capturing the clinical aspects of it. Earlier, only the diagnosis was captured. But are we ever digitizing the medical records? No. I think natural process learning is not there. I think AI can help us do that. What AI will help us, it will help us to even capture the unstructured data, because medicine, you know what doctor's handwriting is. Though good that today with the help of technology, a lot of computerized documents are coming, but still smart AI can help us to digitize the medical records. Digitizing invoice is by default the first role of AI that it can do. Now, what it will help is to eliminate the repetitive task of doing the data entry, and it can reduce the time that is taken for data entry from say 25 to 30 minutes on an average to say less than 2 minutes or 3 minutes, because it takes time for processing. Secondly, I believe in 4 Ps. Like what AI will help us is precision, pace, price, and productivity. So what helps is that the time that is taken to manually process with a claim, it gets reduced to significant time. And secondly, we are now ready with more data. More data means more analysis, and I think that's how our underwriters would be using those data to identify different patterns and use predictive indexing to even underwrite a risk in a prudent manner. Now, thirdly, these are all from the point of saving time. We all know it will save time and money and everything. But the second part of this is a fraud control. I think we all are using fraud propensity models in different ways, some or the other ways. But what's important that AI will do is that it will detect a particular pattern, because now hospitals and customers, they also, someone narrated here that people are changing their ways that they are behaving. I think we should also, with the support of AI, change the way we detect patterns. I think, so constant engagement with AI will help us to evolve over the patterns, and those patterns can help us to control the leakages. So I think overall, if I have to summarize the benefits of AI, is that it will help as an insurer to understand the customer behavior as well as to understand the provider behavior. So say for example, if I think we all nowadays know that antibiotics are generally given like that. Even in the first visit, you are getting antibiotics while treating. So, and sometimes we are learned enough to know that it may not be immediately required. But to identify these patterns, and now there are a lot of resistance with baseline antibiotics. Higher antibiotics have started been given even for baseline treatments. So these all patterns can be identified if AI is used, and a lot of data capture happens with OCR. So this will help us to identify good customer, bad customer, good providers, bad customers, and bad providers. And I think we can align our task force accordingly and invest better time in complex claims rather than low ticket size claims or simpler claims, so that my genuine customers get a better experience and I could focus more on my customers where there are areas to focus. Now, I'll just, my last point is that I think we have a learned colleague from life insurance sector, and I think he would agree that most of the life insurers have now started using AI for extracting the lab investigations. I think because that is a fundamental for underwriting a life policy. However, how many general insurers are capturing the lab findings while processing a claim? Means somebody is doing it's great, but I hardly believe that we are doing that. And I think AI can help us doing that because of the time, because of the efforts that are required. I think incorporating lab investigations also will help us to detect a pattern and help us to identify whether the providers are going beyond a treatment protocol, they are doing excessive investigations. So there are plethora of benefits that AI can offer. I just wanted to touch on some which I felt which merits us. And I think this is what the future of AI would be. Some points, I think it's a baby journey, and I think we are now growing. So I think this is going to change the industry the way we look at it. So thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Amol. So you raised some of the valid predicaments that insurers face in dealing with, speeding up the processes and how they manage or how they take the decisions in doing that. So coming to another important player in the market, which is the TPAs, who manage a lot of claims for life, for general, for SAHI companies. So how do you see the investment in technology in TPAs? And how do you think that, what TPAs are doing to speed up the claim process by investing in technology?
I think very pertinent what Dr. Amol and Dr. Atul said. Not just for TPAs, I think insurers also, they feel the same pressure. The moment a claim is, or rather than claim, I would say the patient is there in the hospital. If the hospital is not submitting a claim to you, as in to insurer or the TPA, it's still our fault. At many point in time, you would receive a call even before the claim came, which means if the claim has already reached us, we have to respond in X minutes. It's not ours anymore. And that behavior change is over a period of time where we used to have like luxury of hours, maybe 2, 3, 4 hours, versus now when people are looking for not more than 30 minutes, 40 minutes, within which they want the patient to be in. The cashless was not there some decade back, but nowadays it's like everybody is going for it. And even in the cashless, when it used to be, I think a decade back, it used to be faxes. Over a period of time, it became email. And nowadays, real-time notification is not there, which means your call center will have a call. So that entire journey of moving from having an offline process to having a fax-driven process to email, and now a real-time notification kind of thing that people are looking at, is where this entire management is moving towards. As on today, in terms of data, how we are moving or making it a real-time kind of thing, is where the technology plays a role. And as Dr. Amol was saying, how many of us actually digitize that data? Half of the time, it is basically the same bill which has already been generated through a system is getting scanned and then being submitted to the insurers. And we again do the OCR of it. And that's where technology, not just as a standalone player for each one of us, if gets integrated together, can actually play a much better role in providing the services to our end customers. And I think the recent initiative that even today the NHCS, like NHA has organized a workshop for 3 days. If the data which is being generated is available to the insurance companies or the TPAs in real time, or if not in real time at some point in time before actually the customer is to be discharged, that journey can literally become a minute's journey, and where even the effort on the other side would become much lesser. As on today, we spend truckloads of money in digitizing the same data which is already digitized. And as a TPA, right now for past 1.5 years, we already digitized the entire bill. And that's how we get to know, and we are able to help some of our partners in making some decisions, where they get to know that these are the kind of diseases which you can see in a particular region of India from this particular kind of age sector per se. And that's how they would be able to also make decisions in terms of how much they should be putting it as a premium. how the medical inflation is rising, or how or what all they have to look forward as part of a particular category when they are writing it. So it's not part of our core role as a TPA, but at the same time, we have to manage 3 customer bases. We have to manage the actual person or member who is there, who is insured. We have to manage the provider who is actually providing the services. And we have to also manage the insurer who has to pay out of pocket. We can't be biased to anybody. And that's another place where the technology plays a very crucial role. Earlier, it used to be a person's decision that the moment I receive a document, I go through it, I decide how much to pay. That used to be, I have to read a policy document, I have to go through a 600-pager documentation which is there in terms of contract with the hospital, and then I have to also go through the bill and the medical details, like humanly not possible in maybe an hour or 2. Technology tells you this particular diagnosis, the moment the data is there or the document is there, technology extracts and tells you this seems to be the probable diagnosis which is there. Technology also pulls out what are the relevant line items from the contract that you have with the hospital. And technology also pulls out what are the policy terms and conditions, put it all together, and do what humans used to do in their brain. The technology now produces the outcome for you. And that's how we are changing the spectrum which is there. And that's how we are thinking of how the future would look like. AI plays a very crucial role in this entire piece, but only if you have the required data. And that's what I would say when we say that this is an infant or a baby which is growing up. Data is the first key for that. And that's where I think the entire insurance industry on the healthcare side at least is at. So right now, you hear us a lot about talking about digitization of the entire piece. In coming days, you will hear us more talking about how that data is now helping us in decision making. Fraud, on the other end, is already something which is having significant amount of data sorted, because at some point in time, somebody has collected that data. And given we all had the Web 2.0 already coming up a decade or 2 back, that entire data is there in some digital form, not just in form of written on the paper. That data mixed with what we are receiving as on today as a claim, when it comes together, it gives us that maturity in terms of using those AI models, which helps eventually target that this is the segment or this is a claim which is having a higher fraud probability. And eventually saying that this is something which you should investigate, because eventually one investigation may cost maybe 1,000 plus rupees. And like you can do as many fraud or as many investigations for the fraud as much as money you can spend. So you have to be cognizant, and I think AI and ML kind of techniques helps in reducing that money which goes out in those investigations and helps serve the customer better. So I think with all these technologies coming together and the digitization being at the center, claim management is not just about the back-end process, it's about basically serving your customer better and in time when they need you. And for insurance, irrespective of the domain we are in, I think we only have, like for healthcare at least I can say, we have only 2 kind of customers. One who is in the hospital, either getting hospitalized or getting discharged, who is basically suffering and is no longer willing to take that trauma. Second, whose money is stuck with us, who is basically like submitted a reimbursement claim and still waiting for the money to be paid to him. And he doesn't care about how much, like what all you are doing with it. Right? So I think that...
Thank you so much, panel members. I think in the interest of the time, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for this wonderful panel here. And especially a big thank you to Bhaswar Chowdhury for wonderfully moderating this panel session. And to all the expert panel members for their wonderful contribution. Would like to call on stage Mr. Ritesh Verma, General Manager and Vice President Business Consulting from NewGen, to kindly do the honors of felicitating this wonderful panel of experts here today. Thank you, Ritesh ji, for doing the honors. Please come on stage. We'll start with Mr. Atul Gujrathi from HDFC ERGO General Insurance. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Atul Gujrathi from HDFC ERGO General Insurance for his valuable contribution in the panel session. Moving next, ladies and gentlemen, to Dr. Porus Peshoton from Max Life Insurance. A big round of applause for Dr. Porus for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next, ladies and gentlemen, to Mr. Rajiv Mirani from ICICI Lombard General Insurance. A big round of applause for Rajiv for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next to Dr. Amol Sawai from Liberty General Insurance. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to Dr. Amol for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next to Mr. Mahesh Subramanian from CamCom. A big round of applause to Mahesh for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Praveen Samariya from Medi Assist. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to Praveen for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our honorable moderator, Mr. Bhaswar Chowdhury from HDFC Life Insurance. A big round of applause to Bhaswarji for wonderfully moderating this panel and having a great discussion. Would request the panel members to kindly step forward for a group photograph in the front stage, and Ritesh, if you could also join them for an all-panel photograph. A big round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen, to this wonderful panel here on migrating to digital claims management. Big thank you to Bhaswar Chowdhury from HDFC Life for wonderfully moderating the panel. Thank you to all the panel members for their wonderful contribution. And a big thank you to Ritesh from NewGen for doing the honors and the felicitations. Thank you so much, gentlemen.